Oh.
Hey, I'm back from hell.
Whoa. A slightly more unique version of someone walking out of something.
Yeah, it's a completely original cold open. But it was very warm.
Would you say you went on a bogus journey?
It was pretty bogus. You remember a couple weeks back when Fielding got sent to hell forever?
Yeah.
Wait, didn't?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
I think the witch forgave him and then
I don't think
took them after.
I don't. Yeah. Oh.
So yeah. Anyway, I went and got Fielding.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little hard because I couldn't look back the whole time, but I'm pretty sure I brought Fielding back from the depths of hell.
That's not Fielding.
Cordell.
What? Who is it?
That's Henry Kissinger. That's Henry Kissinger. Put him back.
Well, I just looked back at him and there he goes. He's getting yanked back into the depths of hell, screaming as he goes. Oh, I wish I could feel pity.
Bye, Kissinger. You deserve this.
I was about to make some tea. You want some tea?
Oh yeah, I'd love some tea. Yeah.
Well, come on into the junk house.
It's a psychobilly freakout.
We'll save Fielding's immortal soul another week.
At some point, yeah.
We'll get around to it.
I hate Henry Kissinger so much. I know, you know.
Oh, we're going right into it.
It's not a hot take. I just hate him so much. Y'all ever seen? Yeah. Y'all know Anthony Bourdain?
Yeah.
I know of him.
One of my favorite moments of him, and I think I've sent this clip to Sammy. Maybe I haven't, but he was in an interview with a bunch of other chefs, and they were talking about if they've ever been in a bar fight before. And in the middle of this, Anthony Bourdain just said, hold on, to test the water a little bit. If I'm in a bar and you see me punch the fuck out of Henry Kissinger, what do? Do you applaud or do you boo? There's a right answer to this. And I think about that all the time.
I don't think you have sent me that, but I love that.
No, that's good though.
I would love to punch Henry Kissinger.
Well, with a shovel and a lot of stealth, you could.
Hey, but let's talk about something else. Like Christmas.
Christmas.
Oh, Christmas.
Kimbliss.
When this comes out, Christmas is literally right around the corner.
Really, in 3 days when this comes out.
What are we doing to Gwitty?
I don't want to be on this show anymore. This is too much.
Do you guys like Christmas?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I really like Christmas. I know I had so many plans, but they got derailed for us doing Christmas stuff. That's life. But here's the thing. I still really love Christmas and have been enjoying Christmas specials this whole time.
Ooh.
And my wife has introduced me to a show I've never seen before called The Nanny. And those Christmas specials are very good.
What's that? I've never heard of The Nanny.
The Nanny, it's a 90s sitcom starring Fran Drescher.
It's Fran Drescher. Yeah.
Where the setup is that she is from Queens, New York.
I have heard of this. Never mind.
Okay.
I forgot it was called The Nanny.
It's called The Nanny. There's a sassy butler named Niles, which I always make the same joke of. That's not Niles. Niles is in Frasier. And Olivia says, that's not funny. You have to come up with a new joke.
It is funny. Don't listen to her.
It's funny. Keep doing it.
But yeah, so Do you want me to do it right now? Do you want me to do it how I do it when we're watching the show?
Wait. Let's
Here.
time for an impromptu session of Caleb uses the thing he almost got a degree for.
Okay.
Samantha and I will be an episode of The Nanny,
Well,
and
wait,
you're watching it, okay?
but I'm the one that almost got the degree, so I need to be
Right, but you taught me so good that like you're playing yourself because I taught you how to play yourself.
okay.
Because
But
you
then
taught me so
okay,
good.
but then after I make the joke, I need one of you to be Olivia. Which one of you wants to be Olivia after I make the joke so you can react to the joke? Because that's important.
I'll be Niles.
Okay.
And Samantha, will you be Fran Drescher and Olivia in your first dual role?
What if I'm Fran and then you're Olivia?
So
Who's
you're
Niles?
Niles, and then
I'm
Olivia,
Niles
and then
Olivia.
and then she's Fran. I guess I'm me, or do I
What
need
if
to
Caleb?
You're
be
you.
Olivia?
What if you need to be Caleb? You be yourself and Olivia.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you do.
I
you
am
do
the one
both
that
of
almost
those.
got a degree, so I think I
Yeah.
can handle.
Yeah.
You're the
it.
most
And-
talented
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
And
obviously.
Caleb, when you're to be a little more acty about it, because it's
Uh-huh.
easy to be you. Pretend you have an eye patch.
Wait, that I have an eye patch, or that Olivia has an eye patch?
Both of you have eye patches.
Okay.
On the same eye.
Olivia
it was
has
a freak
2
accident.
eye patches.
Okay.
Oh, is she
So-
blind
okay,
now?
So then, yeah.
Only for
okay.
the day.
Only for the day.
Okay, so I'll be
Got
me
surgery.
with an eye patch, and Olivia with 2 eye patches, and
There
then
it is,
Cordell, you will be the sassy butler Niles.
Who
And
I've never ever seen anything with the nanny.
Imagine,
so there's not going
like,
to be an accurate impression
like
here.
posh British, and he constantly spies on the people through the doors, and then makes jokes about like, oh, why do you think the keyholes are always polished? Ha ha ha! Like, which is kind of creepy. Anyway,
Yeah.
and then Samantha, you will be Fran, who's played by Fran Drescher, but you're not being Fran Drescher. You're being Fran from the show The
Fran
Nanny.
Fine,
Fran Fine, not Fran
the
Drescher,
character. Yeah.
who is
I
played
do
by
think-
Fran Drescher. So I
Yes,
guess
yeah.
you're being Samantha, being Fran Drescher, being Fran Fine. If we want to get
So-
like really technical, what?
Is Niles like a freak? Is that his motivation to be like a freaky little guy?
He's a little freak.
No,
Or is-
no. You actually learn in, I believe it's late season 1 or early season 2, that he is from a lineage of butlers, and so he wants to be like his father and father before him, like, you know, like one of the greatest butlers ever. So that's kind of his thing, but he's also kind of like written as gay, but not really. Like they never actually confirm it. So kind of like that, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Okay, so
He does have a secret kink that I'm gonna add in though, and you'll
you're
see
gonna
if you can guess.
you're gonna put your own
Yeah.
little funky spin on Niles
Yeah.
the butler.
Yeah.
Okay. Do
See
you want
if
to
you
put
can
your
guess
own little
his-
funky spin on Fran? Fine, Samantha.
Yeah, she's 80 million feet tall. No.
Oh my
Oh.
god,
The big nanny.
Oh.
the big man. Okay, so with all that said, audience, please enjoy our play.
It's a theme song to the nanny. This is a theme song to the nanny. Yeah.
Oh, I'm Caleb, and I really like this show.
Oh, it's me, Fran, and we're in the living room drinking some tea. Woo! Oh man! Oh yeah!
Well, Caleb, I'm Olivia, and I also really like this show.
Hello, charmed, I'm sure. I was just watching piss play on the internet when I heard you were having tea. I'm Niles.
Oh, hi, Niles. You want to piss in my tea?
Yes, quite.
Olivia, that's not Niles. Niles is in Frasier. Caleb, stop. It's not funny. It's not. Find a new joke, please. But I really like Frasier. I know. Find it, please.
I will say, Fran, that while I was watching Piss Play on the internet, I did realize I'm actually in Frasier right now.
What?
Whoa. Honey, switch it to an episode of Frasier. Maybe we'll see if Niles is on there. Okay, I'll switch it to the one where Niles dances with the sassy housekeeper that takes care of Marty at Frasier's apartment. And she's also British. But in that one, in Frasier, Niles isn't British. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Switch the episode now. And surely the other two people on the call will know what roles they're supposed to play. Okay, I can't see the TV.
Boy, I sure do like dancing with you, hot toots. I was watching Piss Play on the internet before this.
I'm Connie. I'm also here.
And scene. Wow.
So that happens every time you watch.
Every time.
Every time you watch The Nanny.
Every time I watch
that's
The
a
Nanny.
lot.
Now, in all fairness, Olivia is not actually mean about it. She thinks my jokes are funny. She just thinks that one's a little bit played out. But
she does have 2 eye patches, though.
She does have 2
that's
eye
real.
patches, and I don't know why we're watching TV when she can't see it.
Well, hey, she can hear it, and that matters.
Yeah.
Matters in here.
Have
You know
y'all
what
ever
else you can hear?
watched? Oh,
Wait. Could you guess his secret kink?
Is he into piss?
No.
What?
No, he's into inflation.
I didn't see the context there. My
It was
bad.
subtle. It was subtle.
It was there though. It was 100%.
That's why the
tell.
vacuum's
You can
on
tell.
reverse all the time.
Yes. You know how you can reverse a vacuum and blow all the dirt out of it on every vacuum?
You
That's real
actually
impossible.
can on a lot of vacuums. It's a
You
good
shut up.
function.
You shut your
No,
mouth
I'm just
right
saying.
now. If you contradict me on the air one more time, I'll come over there and I'll kill you.
I'm sorry.
I'll make your dog watch.
Jesus.
When we read reviews and they're really bad, so guess the movie. Welcome back. I'm going to read a review on Letterboxd, a half-star review of a movie, and these 2 chuckle nuts will have to guess the movie. This is a half-star review from Stuart Klein. Sisters, never were there more obnoxious sisters.
Yep. It's White Christmas.
Yeah, it's White Christmas.
Oh.
So, fun fact, Emily and I watched this a couple days ago. We watched White Christmas because it's one of her favorite holiday movies, and we were putting up our Christmas tree far too late into the month.
Fair.
And so we turned it on while we watched it. She cries every time she watches this movie.
It has some surprisingly progressive, like only on one section. Like literally, they aren't super terrible to a gay character, and they even have like a gay character, and that's literally the only thing. But I like it. I watched it for the first time last Christmas. I gave you my heart, and the very next
day,
I
we
watched White
Christmas.
I've only seen it once, and it was several years ago, and I fell asleep, so I just haven't watched it since then. So
You probably agree with this person then. Half-star review from Sarcasm Feminist. I genuinely despise this movie. Do you agree with that, Caleb? Do you agree?
Do you, Caleb?
I wouldn't say I despise it. I just have no opinion on it.
That's very fair. It's an old movie.
It's an old movie. And I do love some old movies, to be real. I love some old movies, but that one.
Old movies fall into the category for me very similar to period pieces and romantic comedies, where I don't seek them out on my own, but I almost always enjoy them when someone else has me watch them. You know, like I didn't seek out Bridgerton, but I got very invested. I wouldn't watch Love Actually on my own, but I will really enjoy it when I am made to watch it, you know?
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna make me watch The Maltese Falcon. But when they do, I think I like it.
That's me with Citizen Kane.
What's an old movie you kind of surprisingly like? Like one of those that after you watched it, you were like, oh, wait, that might be one of my favorites. You know?
Well, this one, it wasn't surprising, but Seven Samurai,
Mm,
incredible movie.
mm. Good movie. I like that movie. For me, it's a movie called The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
One of the greatest Westerns of all time. Jimmy Stewart,
Ooh.
John Wayne. Beautiful movie.
Ooh. Ooh.
There's
Jimmy.
political intrigue in a Western. Sign me up.
Put my name on that list. Let me in the door. I want to see that shit.
Now, Cordell, it looks like you're looking at something to try and find movies.
Yeah, I'm looking at old movies to see which ones I've watched. What past what year am I allowed to put this in my contention? Because to be honest, 80s movies were 40 years ago. But I feel like you're looking more for 50s and 60s.
I would say anything prior to 1980. So, like, we'll even include 70s in there, you know?
Okay, that'll make this a little bit easier. Because I haven't experienced as much, like, 50s and 60s as I have 70s. The Princess Bride was in 87? What?
The Princess and His Bride.
Okay, I will say a lot of iconic horror happened in the 70s. And to be honest, when you look back at it, there's a lot of it that I wouldn't assume I'd actually enjoy watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of right about a decent bit of it. Like, I didn't love the first Halloween, didn't love the first Friday the 13th. And so this is going to be very, very, like, well, no duh. But I really like Jaws. Like,
Hold
Jaws
up.
is a genuinely entertaining and engaging movie.
Hold up.
No.
You're telling me you didn't like Halloween, but you like what? Yeah,
Like
just
what?
the fact that
I liked what?
you didn't like the original Halloween?
No, not really.
What are you talking about?
It's boring.
No, it's one of the great. It's one of the greats. It's so good. It's so good.
It's good at being boring.
Oh, there's going to be a fight. There's going to be a fight in the junk house.
How could you say it's any more boring? I need you to explain what is boring, because I just legitimately cannot imagine it being described as boring.
Okay, you know how older movies, even kind of up into the 70s, a lot of times were filmed a little bit more like a stage play that they just recorded, right? Longer drawn out takes, slower motion. Like, it wasn't as big on action. It was a lot more of like, hey, you know plays. This is basically a play that we recorded. They hadn't really started developing all of the different cuts and things that we see more often. When it is something like Psycho, that works a little better because that's more psychologically driven. You know, like, oh, any Hitchcock thing, really. Like, Rear Window is excellent. I really enjoyed that one more than I thought I would, to talk about older things. But when we move into the original slasher movies, they were still filming it with that, like, stage sensibility and with the slower progression of things, but with less character development. And then the death scenes were less engaging because they were in the beginning of things and they, like, just anyone getting stabbed on screen was considered scary. And so it's like you get these, all of them have that same long drawn cut from the killer's perspective as they walk somewhere and you hear heavy breathing. And then people get stabbed and they die. And then we move on. And it's just, the pacing's not there. It's inventive, it's new, it's unique, but it's slow. And it's before they figured out the kind of pacing you want to have in a slasher. I respect what they started, but they're not entertaining.
But big man have big knife chase Jamie Lee Curtis. Make it Halloween. Pretty spooky.
You got me there.
I want to see Mike in a Christmas movie. Like, not a horror movie.
Just call it
comedy Christmas movie.
A comedy Christmas movie.
My Christmas with Michael Myers.
That's good. You should do that.
What would
I Married an Axe Murderer?
Would he kill somebody? Oh, I love I Married an Axe Murderer. That's a great movie. That is such a good
I thought
movie.
I ordered the large coffee.
Is it what would happen in Christmas with Michael Myers? Because I have some ideas.
I think not even the B plot, but the continual thing is he tries to kill people or tries to kill the main character, but either he like doesn't have like there's a comedy routine, a comedy bit of like why he can't kill the person. Like, oh, you're so silly, wrapping up the knife in like a present. Merry Christmas.
Here's my idea for an opening shot. Ready? It's like the old school title card. So like you get like this beautiful snowy window. You can see the lights of a Christmas tree reflected in it. You see some children playing, and then it says Christmas. And then, you get a few seconds of Christmas music, and then it says with Michael Myers, and then a knife comes down across the screen and you see it go into a table, and everyone is totally fine because it's going there to cut Christmas wrapping paper to wrap the next present.
That's good.
And it's
and then so I give me Michael Myers just like, and then a little kid, we'll call him Tim, he says, "Wow, Uncle Michael, thanks for cutting it so good." Yeah,
he's not Lurch.
But he is in this movie.
In this movie, Michael Myers is also Lurch, and this is a spinoff of the Addams Family, so Netflix will buy it and make it a series like they did Wednesday.
And we'll become bazillionaires.
I would like to add a little more fuel to my anti-first Halloween hate fire.
Okay.
That is only now coming into existence because Caleb challenged me.
Uh-oh.
So nothing makes me like stick to an opinion more than having it questioned.
Yeah.
To put it in perspective, what I mean by boring, do you know what movie came out 1 year after Halloween and is actually still engaging to watch as a horror movie?
What?
Alien.
Too scary. Bad movie.
Yeah, that's you don't like being actually scared, which is why you like the first Halloween.
Oh, we're putting the pieces together.
We pulled off the mask. It's a fraidy cat. But no, like, think about Alien versus Halloween. Both have slower pacing. Both have character work, but Alien does better character work and is more engaging in the in-between for the killing and the death.
But big scary alien chases Sigourney Weaver? Too scary.
No, that's good.
That too scary. Big man, big knife chase Jamie Lee Curtis. Right amount of scary.
I do have a revision though. I think my best pre-80s movie, Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh yeah. Good movie.
With Donald Sutherland.
Yeah. Good movie.
Yeah. And it's like when that exists, I don't think Halloween has much of an excuse for being as boring as it was. You have Alien, you have Body Snatchers. Halloween could have done more.
When did Birdemic come out?
Like
That's
2000?
a good question. It's gotta be
2010.
like, yeah, I was about to say it's gotta be like 2010, 2012.
That's the scariest movie I've ever heard of.
Y'all want
Birds?
to y'all want to hear about an actual scary movie that's in theaters right now?
It's not going to be scary, is it?
It's going to be terrifying because it is Wonka. I want to talk about Wonka for a second.
I don't want to.
No. Because I want to talk about something that is a bigger issue, Cordell, than just Wonka. But Wonka's an example of it.
You're going to get me so fired up, and I don't want to be fired up today. Do it. Hit me.
What is one thing that a lot of people don't like being surprised by?
Musicals.
Mm.
What is Wonka?
A secret musical.
A secret musical. I'm tired of these people coming in and making secret musicals because guess what? If I'm just going to see a nice movie about a man making chocolate and I'm not expecting Timothy Chalamet to be singing at me and Hugh Grant to be busting it down sexual style as a Oompa Loompa.
If that's in the movie, I will go see it.
Apparently he does be busting it down.
He does be busting.
He does be busting. If I'm not expecting a musical, I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it.
Now, I'm the rare occasion that, well, not with Wonka probably, but sometimes I like a surprise musical. I'm like, oh, a song I can sing? Wow. But yeah, this is it doesn't look that good.
It doesn't. Am I probably gonna go see it in theaters?
No.
Yes.
Why though?
For the same reason I went and saw Cats in theaters several times. Because sometimes I can't resist seeing a train wreck.
Okay, fair. Yeah. Yep.
Well, I
Avatar: The Last
just
Airbender,
think,
the movie.
yeah. I just think I just am tired of secret musicals. It's just not fun.
Cordell's is almost boiling over there.
I'm trying to keep my mouth shut. I don't want to do this.
Is it, do you disagree with something I've said? Or is this like
No. I get so angry at the current state of modern movie musicals that I don't want to do this.
Can you?
I don't want to be that guy.
Now,
there's a soapbox right here, though.
There is a soapbox.
Don't invite me to that soapbox.
Can I just? I'm dusting it off. Like I'm dusting it. There's no dust left on it, and it looks pretty comfortable to stand on.
No.
I'm putting a cushion down on top of it, like a nice memory foam cushion to stand on.
Okay, to start with, name some modern movie musicals. Some recent movie musicals that have occurred. Name some of them.
That's a good question, actually.
It's a good question. I'm looking
Greatest
them up.
Showman comes to mind, I guess.
Greatest Showman.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Dear Evan Hansen movie. There was Mamma Mia 2. There was the West Side Story movie they did recently, and the Heights movie they did recently.
The Little Mermaid live action.
Little Mermaid live action.
Okay. Excellent.
if we're going further back, I mean, like we had the Chicago movie, which is actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I like that one.
That is Richard Gere is charming.
And then there's a whole slate of Disney ones that I don't know if we need to touch.
I think they are actually relevant to touch, though, in a way.
So we've got Zombies 1, 2, and 3. We've got Enchanted and Enchanted 2. We've got, oh my gosh, Frozen 2. You could argue like Moana. There's the Hairspray movie. Happy Feet was even kind of a surprise musical. All the High School Musical movies. Musical doesn't feel like a word anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So let me list to you some of what I consider to have been successful movie musicals, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then some of what I would call middle of the road, where I think they're successful, but they miss the points that I think make movie musicals important.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ones that I think completely miss the bar entirely. Right? And they're going to be on different principles, okay?
Okay.
This is a soapbox. I'm giving you every chance to not let me do this.
Hey, we want this. If you don't want to, you can step off the soapbox and we can change topics.
But I also feel like once we start talking about these, we'll all have stuff to say about some of these for sure. So
it's in your hands.
Okay. Successful movie musicals. High School Musical. That franchise is mega successful, and I think it does it perfectly.
Yeah.
It understands what a movie musical ought to be. And it leans into the proper amount of campy and corny and plays to its target audience flawlessly. Yeah. Hairspray, Phantom of the Opera, Little Shop of Horrors. These are all adaptations of stage plays and all do them very successfully because they don't try to hide their origins. What failed? Dear Evan Hansen. You know why? Because it tried to be a dramatic movie instead of like being a musical. Also, Ben Platt was just way too old. Don't do that.
Ben Platt old.
So like and Mamma Mia, right? I consider Dear Evan Hansen and Cats are both failed movie musical adaptations.
They need to release the butthole cut of Cats. That would make it work.
They do. Mamma Mia, I consider a middle of the road adaptation. I think it was successful and enjoyed, but I also think that they made some very big, very important mistakes. One, you're going to do a musical.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do what they do on stage, which is hire actors that can actually sing, dance, and act.
Not Pierce Brosnan.
Not Pierce Brosnan. Emily got really upset because when we watched Mamma Mia more recently, I told her that every male singer in the movie outside of Sky sounds like Kermit the Frog when he sings.
Oh my gosh.
And they do.
Yep. Accurate.
They're all nasally because they're all super constricted when trying to sing. At least get a vocal coach to come in there and teach them something. Don't lean on auto-tune. Don't lean on technology, which is another part of this. Let things be practical. What I think Mamma Mia succeeded on, being practically done. A lot of it was just real locations and real set building. Cats, none of it's practical, and it's all garbage. You know? Wonka, I have not seen it yet, but I don't think it's going to do super well. You know, its opening weekend, it earned less than the Marvels did, and people consider the Marvels a failure. So like Wonka, almost none of it's practical, and Timothée Chalamet, I don't believe that he can sing and dance. Even if he can, I don't find him charismatic at all. I don't understand his fame. Don't make it a secret. People who don't like musicals are going to be really pissed off when something is suddenly a musical, such as Mean Girls. I think that could do well because it's adapting a stage musical.
Yeah.
But it's also hiding the fact that it's a musical, which is not going to go well opening weekend.
No, people are just going to be expecting the original Mean Girls.
A movie.
But-
Yeah, they're going to
Yeah.
like an updated version of that really good movie.
The one secret movie musical that worked well because it wasn't quite fully a musical, and it's La La Land.
Yep.
Does not advertise, like when people talked about La La Land in the trailers, it's not a musical. And then like people talk about it and they call it a musical, and then you watch it and there's like 3 musical numbers. That's less than a Muppet movie, and I don't consider those musicals.
I
La La
consider
Land was advertised as a musical movie, but not a musical movie.
Exactly. So it's a weird in between.
I just want to say, I actually really hate La La Land. I did not enjoy that movie at all. I thought it was bad. But the other thing is, I actually think the Muppet movies, like the Muppets and Muppets Most Wanted specifically, the 2 newer Muppet movies, I think they count as movie musicals because they have
A lot.
I think the thing in my mind that makes it to where a movie goes from a movie with musical numbers to a movie musical is, does the music at any point help further the plot? Or is it just kind of like a brief aside?
And that is fair. That's a big deal. I think you're correct in that. Most people wouldn't say, oh, it's a musical, right? And I think that's part of it too, if someone's telling you about a movie, if I'm telling you about the Muppets movie, I'm not going to go, oh, it's a musical.
Fair.
Yeah.
And here's a musical that I was super successful, but also is in a weird zone. It's Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
That franchise was mega successful, but it kind of hid the musical aspect under the guise of we're singing anyway, right? Like it manages to cheat the audience into enjoying a musical, 1 by doing it a cappella, but 2 by like weaving it so thoroughly into the story.
Yeah. And that's even closer to just a jukebox musical than a regular musical because they didn't write their own songs.
More along the lines of Moulin Rouge, which I don't enjoy as a movie. I think it's bad. Sorry, Drew Hawley. So looking at all of these things, there's one that I hate the most. One movie musical that pisses me off more than the rest, even though some of its music is actually pretty decent, and it's The Greatest Showman.
Thank you. I hate this movie with a burning passion.
Now, I know I'm a couple years late to this hate party, but I've been doing it off air for long enough. It's time to hate it publicly on air. This movie is enjoyable.
Yeah.
It is catchy. It is good. You know what my problem is? The easiest way to sum this all up before I enumerate. When I watched the movie for the first time, I could not differentiate between the songs after I was done. All of the songs are stylistically similar enough that not a single one of them fully stuck out in my head at the end of the movie. Like, I think there should be enough diversity in the songs. And it's like, it's Pasek and Paul, they did Dear Evan Hansen. They did really like more diverse sound than this, but they made it all too poppy. They were leaning too hard. This goes into my like hire people who can do all of it. They started leaning into that. They did Hugh Jackman, who's not the best singer, but he's not a bad singer. Zac Efron is flawless, and I love him always. Zendaya is good at what she does. Like, they got people who could actually sing, dance, and act. But then they didn't let anything be practical. It's CG all over the place. It is auto-tuned. Like, they made it feel so plastic and rubbery with all of the effects they did. And then this is a little bit nitpicky. A little bit nitpicky for sure. But like, what if you want people to remember the music beyond just playing it on a radio? Like, I really think you need to add thematic stuff in there. Like, they're a circus. They're a whole circus, and there is not any kind of indication in the music that they're a circus. which if it were a stage
Yep.
play, there would have been. There would have been some kind of motif or riff or clever reference musically to the fact of what they are. You know?
Clown
And there's
honk
just,
noise.
yeah. They're going to get downright silly about it. No,
Yeah.
but you can do it cleverly. You know, you can have a song that doesn't sound like a silly thing, but also references what it is. And then the last one, well, no, two last ones. Plot-wise, it's about the freaks, right? Theoretically, this movie is about him helping these freaks find their identity. And all we get of that is this is me. Like,
Yeah.
it is all focused on Hugh Jackman being caught up in fame, and then Zac Efron falling in love with the least freaky of the freaks.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them get a musical number where they say, I am who I am, and they get no character development outside of that. And then they tell Hugh Jackman, hey, man, everything's okay. We'll dance in this bar.
Which I want to say, if you want a better version of This Is Me that delivers the same message from what I find to be a better musical, Let Your Freak Flag Fly from
Yes.
Shrek the Musical.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a great song. And those characters got more development.
Yep.
And then my last critique of Greatest Showman, not the last, but the last I'll do here. I've talked about it too much. I told you not to get me on this soapbox, and you did. You all asked for this. This movie blows its biggest number, its final song, the grand finale of the whole show. It reveals to you within the first 3 minutes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it does. What?
Oh.
It reveals the biggest set piece, the biggest number, the most impressive moment in the first song.
Why?
That's what I'm saying. And it starts perfectly. It starts with him as a silhouette behind the bleachers, singing and introducing, and then you get little snippets in the background of light and action, but you don't really see anything. And they could have ended that song with like a zoom in on his eyes as he turns around and you see reflections of something cool. Like they could have done 1,000 things to not reveal it, but instead he marches straight out into the middle of the spectacle and you see it all and you absolutely know what the last number is. So by the time it shows up, the only thing different at the end is that you see other characters. You see characters you have gotten to know in the movie, and that's the only difference. The spectacle is not there. You are not awed because you saw it. It was the first thing you saw.
You literally saw it.
There's no suspense, there's no buildup, there's no payoff. And that's a wild mistake. That is showing Jaws in the opening scene of Jaws.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, that is the T-Rex in Jurassic Park being the first thing you see on screen.
It fades in from the alien title card, and there's the xenomorph.
Yeah, like no other movie could get away with this. And yet people don't criticize this. And I think the problem is the good movie musicals are often adaptations or so sneaky about it that you don't think about it. You know, Pitch Perfect, Muppets. They're musicals, but you're not thinking of them as musicals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then the stage adaptations, people go, oh, well, that pre-exists. So when it comes to a movie originally written to be a musical for screen, people just don't have high enough standards because so few of them have been good that when a half decent one comes around, there's no criticism, there's no complaint, there's no thought, because movie-going audiences generally don't know what to expect from a musical and what makes a good musical. They haven't seen good musicals. And this has been, Cordell uses the thing he actually literally got a degree for.
Yeah.
I would also like to tack on to this a little bit.
And I had a question.
I also just looking at the work of Pasek and Paul, which are the writing duo behind a lot of Greatest Showman, as well as Dear Evan Hansen. Surprisingly, La La Land, as well as music for the Flash TV show.
Cool. Okay.
Looking at their work, you could play me a song from any of these. I would not, most of the time, would not be able to identify it one show from another.
Let me tell you the best work they've done. Because
It's Dogfight.
It's Dogfight. Thank you very much.
Dogfight's the only one.
It's the only one that stands out in your mind. Dogfight is a terrible concept, but it plays out very, very well in the show. It's in Vietnam era, and this group of Marines are about to get shipped off, and they decide to have one last party, and they throw a dogfight, which is a competition to bring the ugliest woman as a date. And the winner gets all the money. And so this Marine, the main character, meets a girl who's ugly and decides to bring her to the dogfight, but then finds out she's actually a really cool person, and then she wins. And so it's like, it is them seeing if they can create a relationship in the wreckage of that moment and in the aftermath of him going to war and all of his friends getting killed. So it's like, there's a lot of heart and emotion and feelings and some of the best male harmonies you'll ever hear in your life. Listen to Some Kind of Time or Hey Good Lookin' from that musical. Listen to the whole soundtrack, really. But like, that show is Pasek and Paul making actually good music that is actually reminiscent of the time and memorable. Like, they do a really good job there, and everything else after that has been more Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, I'll be crueler about it, honestly. Dogfight is the first and last time that they wrote good music. Anyway, what
I
was
like
your question?
Dear Evan Hansen against my better judgment.
A shitty show. Anyway,
how do we feel about the Mirandification of the movie Musical? Ever since
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Lin-Manuel Miranda is like the main musical dude in the movie scene nowadays. I like In the Heights, but that was an adaptation.
I think here's my honest opinion. I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I think he does a lot of good work. I think he's a really cool guy from what I've seen online. Like, is he a little bit cringy at times? Yeah, but who isn't?
He does theater.
All are. Yeah. we record a podcast. Like, we're all cringy in some way.
Yeah. My problem is not Lin-Manuel Miranda writing more music. It's when people are attempting to do what Lin-Manuel Miranda does.
Yeah. Thank you. Perfect. Like, Greatest Showman is an easy example. So much of that feels like they are trying to do Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
They're trying to capture that.
Which this is my comparison. Lin-Manuel Miranda is for modern audiences, like when he actually does the work, very similar to what Sondheim does. Because one of the things that I love about Sondheim, and that when I talk to people about Sondheim, they love, is that Sondheim knows how to write a piece of music with very fast lyrics that you can understand and that actually move the plot forward. And Lin-Manuel Miranda does that in a different way with rap, but it's essentially patter pieces for musicals. Yeah. And everybody loves the Stephen Sondheim patter piece.
And when you get a whole musical like Hamilton that's all patter pieces with a couple like drop dead numbers, it's flawless. You get exactly what you want.
One of the beauties of Hamilton is it uses the pacing of, hey, when it's fast, this is fast on purpose. When it slows down, like, oh, I have to know what's going on right now,
Yes, which I think plays better than things like Les Mis. I'm not a huge Les Mis fan, sorry. That musical movie also has problems. But like in Les Mis, when it's easy for something sung through to just be bland. It is, they're always singing, I don't care anymore. Hamilton somehow manages to have the entire show still feel like distinct songs, even when they're just moving plot along. Whereas Les Mis is a lot of awkward sing speech and then distinct songs,
I'm biased because I've seen Les Mis on Broadway, so it's a little hard to not like it.
I mean, Hair Toss, I saw it on the West End, and it was fantastic. However, like, I still have that opinion about it.
Hair Toss. I saw some high schoolers do it.
Oh, that's good.
So you gotta love it.
Yeah, you win.
yeah.
You win.
Yeah, I absolutely no. My Olivia often laughs at me because the way I feel about Les Mis is actually a quote from Doctor Who, where the 12th Doctor says, "I can live for up to 1 billion years, and even I know not to put myself to watch Les Mis." And that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm like, I have better things to do in my life than sit for 3.5 hours and watch
that's
a
fair.
depressing story.
And watch that, yeah. On the Mirandification of musicals, and specifically movie musicals, I really kind of don't think it's all that deep. I think it's the same thing as when Sky High came out and then Zoom Academy for Superheroes came out. You know, like when someone is really good at their craft and does it well and does it popularly, there will be copycats at the wazoo. They come out of the woodwork and try to capitalize on the moment. I don't think it's going to be forever. I do think he has contributed a lot on a very real level to how we will structure modern musicals moving forward. I think he has played, musicals after Sondheim changed. And I think musicals after Lin-Manuel Miranda will change. But I think as far as movie musicals go, it's just people trying to capture light. They're trying to make lightning strike twice. They're trying to do what he does, and they're not him.
Yeah, it don't work.
Which, on a positive note, goes to show the artistic lesson of no one can bring what you bring. Do your art, and it will be as good as it can be. If you try to do someone else's art, you will do it poorly. Unless you're Weird Al. But even then, he's doing his own art.
Yeah, he's doing his own spin. But hey, I think we should bring back a segment that we haven't done in a while. And that's making up some debate questions.
Oh, shoot.
For our upcoming debate. Now we've introduced the mediator in the Junk Witch. So we have all of the players set now. Maybe do we need to ask any questions about musicals? Like what's the vibe?
I think I, along with everyone on this call, want to ask the question, just what's your favorite musical?
That's important. Another question to add to that list is simply Evan Hansen, yay or nay?
What's the vibes?
We gotta know where they stand on that. Like, and there may be room for nuance. Me personally, I really enjoy the music because I think some of it is very beautiful, but I do think the show is also stupid. I think I can hold both opinions, that the show is stupid and the music is fantastic. Ask my roommates freshman year of college when I listen to that every morning in the shower.
Hi, I'm here. I listened every goddamn morning. Okay, I'd wake up and all I'd hear is, "Does anybody have a map? Does anybody have a map?" And all I heard is about asking about a fucking map every morning. And like by the time Cordell and I were roommates, I want to emphasize this because I don't know. I've mentioned this a little bit. I was at like the worst depression I've ever had in my life. Did not leave the dorm room. Like it was
bad. It was bad.
It was the worst depressed I've ever felt in my life. So to hear this annoying ass song asking about a goddamn map played through a speaker that I bought for everyone in the dorm to make sure that all of us could have access to listening to music in the shower because we all enjoyed it. It was just insult to injury to just be like, all right, cool. Does anybody have a map to navigate through life? Boom! Like, all right.
Yeah. I think I personally, myself, Cordell, am responsible for Caleb and Drew both hating Dear Evan Hansen.
Probably.
I think because when I like music, that is all like that. When I like an album, that's the only thing I'll play for a while, you know? And normally it doesn't hurt anybody, but I was living with other humans at the time. And I caused damage to their psyches that I cannot undo. I've tried for years, but anytime the subject of Dear Evan Hansen comes up, they both look at me with a look that I have not seen in a long time. There's genuine hatred in their eyes. And it is a thing I can never undo. You know, that's my greatest mistake in this world, is forcing so much Dear Evan Hansen on others.
So that's the next question. Does Cordell deserve the death penalty?
Your Honor.
Does Cordell deserve it?
That's a good one. That's important.
My client. Does my client deserve the death penalty? I don't know.
The lawyer on the prosecution for that case would simply have to play Dear Evan Hansen through before making any statement at all. And then they win the case.
Before you hear anything, bring in the shower, bailiff.
Does anybody have a map? Anybody?
So I would like to revisit some of these questions as well, if we can, okay?
Yeah.
Because this may give us more ideas based off today's. We have, do you clean them legs?
Important question. I think
what's
most of
the
these
best?
are important.
What's the best chip?
Yeah. I don't think we should list through all of them, personally.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Okay.
going through the highlights. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
What is your National Docking Association rank? What's your NDA code? And what is your record time?
I forgot we did that. Because those were races, right? That was a race to come first while docking with a homie.
Yeah.
It was competitive docking.
What's your question? Save me.
What's wrong with that?
It's a good question to put on there too, Cordell. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, put that.
What's wrong with you? How about that?
There you go. What's wrong with you?
If there was a musical about your life, what would it be? What would it be similar to? What musical is most like your life?
Yeah, what musical is most like your life?
There you go. What musical is most like your life? There's only one other question I really want to highlight in this list. And it's, how do you feel about that time RoboCop shot that guy's dick off and how he doesn't have a penis or balls anymore?
That's going to be a wonder to hear in the witch's voice.
Yeah, that's going to be great. I only have one more question to put, and it's, how do you feel about our opening and closing theme song? That is Psychobilly Freak Out by the Reverend Horton Heat off the album Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em.
A flawless transition.
I love it.
A flawless transition.
I think if you have them, you should smoke them.
I do agree.
I agree. If you have had a very enjoyable or even a semi-enjoyable time with us today, maybe you would rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes and Spotify. That would be pretty sick. Also, if you could follow us on TikTok and Twitter at JunkHousePod, who knows? You might get some kisses.
If you or a loved one has been victimized by Pasek and Paul trying to be Lin-Manuel Miranda, or victimized by a roommate in college playing Dear Evan Hansen on repeat for their morning showers, you may be entitled to a ghost. Email us at junkhousemailbox@gmail.com. Let us know what you've experienced. Let us know your pain and suffering that musicals have personally caused you. Let us know if you have been the one personally causing other people's suffering through your usage of musicals. Sometimes I play it for the clients at work when we're on a drive so they can hear what pain sounds like.
I mean, and as we say every week,
Does anybody have a map? Anybody maybe happen to know how to
Fucking
do this?
Christ.
'Cause I don't know if you can tell, but it's just me
City
just
of
pretending to know.
stars.
There's a map.
City
I
of
gotta know.
stars.
This is not the
There's a
greatest
map.
show.
There's a map.
But it's not the city
Waving
of
through the
stars.
window.
It's a psychobilly freakout!